Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever said something that you thought was perfectly crystal clear, only for the other person to completely misunderstand you? Yeah, it happens to literally all of us. Well, today we're going to unravel the really fascinating ways human language basically deceives us. We'll be exploring the 5 distinct types of language ambiguity, and we're going to look at a clear, real-world example for every single one.
Let's actually jump right in with a quick little test. Just take a look at the sentence. I saw the man with the telescope. Now, when you read that, who exactly is holding the telescope? Like, are you looking through it, or is the guy you're looking at holding it in his hands? It feels like a super simple statement, right? But your brain immediately has to make a choice about what it actually means.
And that brings us right to our core concept here, which is ambiguity. This is actually the primary challenge in natural language processing. It pops up whenever a linguistic input, whether we're talking about a single word, a quick phrase, or a whole sentence, can be interpreted in multiple ways. And it's that exact phrase, multiple ways, that is the absolute core challenge when we're trying to teach machines, or honestly even just trying to teach ourselves, to reliably understand human communication.
So we are going to break this whole thing down by escalating through 5 levels of complexity. We're talking phonological, lexical, syntactic, semantic, and finally, pragmatic ambiguity. Let's kick things off with layer 1, phonological ambiguity, which is basically when sounds deceive us. This happens when words sound completely identical out loud, but they mean totally different things and, have totally different spellings. The exact same sounds produce homophones. And let me tell you, this causes a major headache for speech recognition systems. Because when spoken out loud, the reeds in the pond and he reads a book sound identical. A computer system has to use the surrounding context just to tell aquatic plants apart from someone reading a novel. If you're only listening, there is literally zero acoustic difference between those two phrases. Moving right along to layer 2, lexical ambiguity. This is when words wear masks. We hit this wall when a single word has multiple competing meanings. Think about this incredibly common 4-letter word, bank. We use it all the time without a second thought, right? But it can completely alter the reality of a sentence.
Like, are we talking about sitting on a geographical dirt slope next to a river, or are we talking about the financial institution holding your cash? The word bank is wearing a mask here, and it completely relies on the rest of the sentence to lock down its true identity. That is classic lexical ambiguity. Resolving it means you really have to pay attention to the company the word keeps.
Okay, layer 3 is syntactic ambiguity. This is where we get into structural confusion. Remember that telescope example from the very beginning? Well, the words themselves are perfectly clear. We all know what saw, man, and telescope mean. But the grammatical relationship between those words? Yeah, that is where the chaos lives. The crucial point here is that the modifier with the telescope can grammatically attach to the verb saw or to the noun man. It creates 2 wildly different physical scenarios. In one scenario, you are using the telescope as a tool to look at a guy far away. But in the other, the guy you're looking at is physically carrying a telescope himself. Both interpretations are 100% grammatically correct, which, without more context, leaves us completely structurally confused.
Now we're getting deeper. Layer 4 is semantic ambiguity, which deals with deeper meaning and tangled logic.
At first glance, a sentence like "every man loves a woman" seems straightforward, maybe even a little romantic, right? But it actually hides a mathematical trap based on something called quantifier scope, specifically how we handle the words every and a. We can actually break this down logically into 2 very distinct formulas. The words are fine, the grammar is totally fine, but the underlying mathematical logic fractures into 2 completely different paths that drastically change the physical reality of the world we're describing. To put that into perspective, we can interpret this to mean that all men have some different woman they love, so for every man there is a woman out there for him, or does it mean there is one single specific woman on Earth who is universally adored by every single man on the planet? Like I said, the words are the same, the grammar is identical, but the semantic meaning describes 2 entirely different universes.
And finally, we arrive at layer 5, pragmatic ambiguity. This is all about the social context.
This is really the deepest and most human layer. The literal meaning might be perfectly clear, but the actual intent relies heavily on social norms and tone. Imagine you're sitting at a dinner table, just enjoying a meal, and the person across from you asks, "Can you pass the salt?"
Now, a literal, totally robotic interpretation would treat this as a really weird question about your physical capabilities, like they're assessing your arm strength. You could technically just say, yes, I am physically capable of doing that, and then leave the salt right where it is. But the pragmatic meaning, the human meaning, is actually just a polite request to move the shaker. We automatically use social context to completely bypass the literal dictionary meaning of those words.
So human communication is built on these incredibly complex layers of sounds, definitions, structures, logic, and social cues. So I want you to ask yourself, how many times today have you relied entirely on context just to be understood? Honestly, how often are you using ambiguous language without even realizing it?